High speeds, adrenaline rush, the thrill of the race. But behind the excitement, street racing has a darker side. One that ends in wreckage, injury, and sometimes death.
The speeder accelerates hard.
The red I just passed you is currently at 150 miles an hour.
Social media has fueled a growing street racing culture, with viral clips and illegal events attracting thousands of views. For some, it starts with a love of speed, the hum of an engine, the freedom of an open road, but for others, it becomes an obsession that blurs the line between excitement and danger.
23-year-old Mohammed El Ghassil and 22-year-old Abraham Yaqub did not seem too concerned about the lives they put in danger after troopers arrested them for street racing.
Street racing isn't just illegal, it's lethal. A split-second mistake could lead to disaster, not just for drivers, but for innocent bystanders. Behind every statistic is a real person. Someone whose life was cut short by someone else's reckless decision. What drives someone to take these deadly risks? Psychologists point to the thrill of rebellion, the rush of danger, and the hunger for recognition. Communities and law enforcement are fighting back. Crackdowns on illegal race are intensifying, but prevention starts with awareness. Education programs are working to steer young drivers away from the fast lane and towards safer alternatives. The thrill of speed can be deadly. The question is, how many more lives will be lost before the race ends for good? I managed to find a news article about street racing. In Milton Keynes in Buckinghamshire, a BMW driver was reported for street racing. Thames Valley police officers seized the BMW M4 that was street racing, and the driver of the M4 faced a fine and a potential disqualification. The police responded to this case with the following comment: "If you choose to take part in this behavior, expect a visit from us to take your pride and joy away from you." I interviewed a modified car owner who is obsessed with speed and sports cars, and I asked him what's his thoughts on street racing and how he got interested in modified cars. Can you tell me about your car and what modifications have you made and why?
So I drive a Volvo C30. It's an R design, quite unique. I've always admired the two-door coupe shape. It's a sporty hatchback styling. I remember wanting one since I ever owned Volvo. So my first car in South Africa, my dad gave me a Volvo 144, which was a 1970 model. I just like the make, the Swedish design. The art design is slightly different from other Volvos. It's bold, it's compact feeling. Over time, when I bought it, the idea was to do some modifications. So I looked at both the interior and exterior as well as the engine. So I started off with a exhaust modification, and then I did a airflow, an intake. I then just wanted to get a little bit more quick responsiveness from it, so I got it chipped, some tuning done on that as well. At the same time, I also improved the braking system for the safety and performance. It just gave me more power, sharper throttle response, a little bit more enjoyable drive. And then I just added a few more things to the external. So I changed the spoilers on the car, added a slight tint to the windows. The tint was more for look, but also to emphasize the sporty profile, but also helps keeps the car cooler in the summer. I think each change on the car was just reflecting more of my taste and the love of the Volvo car and driving.
Interesting. What first got you into modified cars?
I mean, like I mentioned, my first car in South Africa was a Volvo. I looked at all my friends, modifying cars was kind of a hobby when I was growing up. So it naturally pulled me towards this. It was also, looking at cars with different type of body kits. So when a car enthusiast bought a car that was stock standard, started adding different builds. I like that was grabbing my attention. I liked how you could actually take a car and become more creative, like, you know, a well-tuned exhaust or the different sounds the cars were making. So I enjoyed it, and it was like, you know, a hobby where you could get more creative, and it became a passion.
How would you describe the modified car community?
Yeah, I mean, I only got introduced to the community in the UK when I moved here. It was nice. Finding the community was quite easy on different social media aspects. What I did find, depends on the communities that you join. It's a very tight-knit community, lots of mixed people from different walks of life brought together for the love of cars. The nice thing about it, it's got to do with people getting together, whether it's from car performance to customizing aesthetics, appreciating, you know, rare, good builds. Everyone brings something unique to the table, and you end up learning a lot from others. And I definitely enjoy the car meets. So, you know, you do weekend meets, there's events, social spaces where you connect, you swap ideas, celebrate the culture of modified cars.
What's the most rewarding part of owning and building a modified car?
For me, my car, it's the individuality. I like mine to be driving something unique, and it's unique because it's personally built according to the style. The style, if I look at my car in the mornings, it's that sense of pride. It's just not a car. Some people would say it's a reflection on you. But for me, you know, if I look at since owning the car, every modification that I made on the car, you know, gives me a different story. It tells me, you know, the different journey with me in the car. I think at the end of the day, it's the general pleasure of driving something that performs and sounds exactly the way you want it to. So in terms of my daily commute, whether it's school runs, weekend, dropping the kids off at football, taking them to social clubs, it's just a different driving experience.
What's your thoughts on street racing in general?
Street racing, I'm not a fan of illegal street racing. I've always preferred keeping it safe and legal. I enjoy taking my car on tracks, so I've taken my cars on different tracks, and I take it on tracks where it's under control conditions. I take my car to see the performance. I want to see what it performs like, and I don't do, or I haven't encouraged street racing. It's about knowing your limits, being responsible on the street. You know, I'm not a fan of taking too many risks. Hence, we do car meetups and you know, look out for track days.
Have you ever been tempted to take part in street racing? Why or why not?
Yes, I've definitely been tempted in the past. A few times I've been invited to street racing meets, and that's more people seeing my car, want to see how it compares to theirs. I definitely admit there was curiosity on my side to go and see what's it running like, you know, see how strong my car. But I honestly have attended to watch. After watching them, you know, I've never felt very comfortable participating. I wouldn't participate. You know, it's very unpredictable. It's an overweight excitement for fans. I think it could be dangerous. That's why I stick to track days. They're more fun and a lot safer.
Why do you think street racing appeals to so many car enthusiasts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's on an individual basis. I think I think with it, what I've seen, and when I speak to some of the folks that do their cars up, it's a very similar storyline. It's more around the adrenaline, maybe the competition. It gives people a way to prove, you know, their build is is good. There's also, I've seen people doing street racing around. There's also a rebellious aspect to it, doing something underground against rules. It's one of the things that is unfortunate at the moment. It's quite hyped in social media. So in social media, it's hyped to be cool, and this draws younger and less experienced drivers. And I think with that, they don't see the risks until it's too late.
Why do you think that street racing can go hand in hand, and what's your take on that?
I don't know. I don't agree with that. Just because someone modifies their car doesn't mean that they're racing it illegally. For lots of us, we modify for creativity, for self-expression. I do modify for improving performance reliability, not really always speed. I think it's more about a passion than recklessness.
Oh. Do you think that films like Fast and Furious glamorize street racing too much?
100%, yes, definitely. I'm a big fan. My kids love watching Fast and Furious, and because I've owned a car in that culture, I think it's a mixed feeling for me. While they brought the car culture into the mainstream, which is something that's positive. I think what they've done is they romanticized illegal racing and dangerous driving. Like I look at my kids, younger fans might watch those films and think that what's being a car into is all about, which is not. Watching that, you think it's about speed, risk, breaking the law. But in reality, most of us are more interested in the build, the process, the community.
Do you think modified car owners have a responsibility to discourage illegal street racing?
Absolutely. As part of the community, we should be setting the example. It's about educating people. There's a time and place for performance driving, and that's not on public roads. If we do take that responsibility, then we're feeding stereotypes that paint us all as recklessness.
Have you ever taken steps to promote safer alternatives like track days?
Yes. So that resonates well with me. I personally tried to create safer space. So we organize Sunday meetups, Sunday breakfast runs. We join community drives, and you got a range of modified cars. From older cars to the newer. But it's more about a relaxed connection than competition. It's events where people get together, we share builds, we talk about cars. It's there, without the pressure to prove anything on the road. But if there is a need, we share track days. We encourage people to go to the tracks. That a track day is kind of a safer environment, a perfect outlet if you want to test performance legally and safely.
Has the police ever pulled you over because of your modified car?
No, not recently. Plenty of times before, especially when I was younger, maybe when I was still in school, driving a car there, looked indifferent, sounded a bit louder. So I think I was pulled off once or twice for the sound of the car, but that was before.
What's your final message to anyone who would like to get into the modified car culture?
So I thought about this one, and it's it's a great question. I think car culture is about passion. It's not about speed. It's like any other hobby, right? It's something you pour your heart into, whether it's the sound, the look, or just the feeling of driving something that you customize. Don't fall into the trap of thinking fast driving is cool. It's much more rewarding to take your time to learn the craft, respect the road, and enjoy the community. Sunday cruises, meeting like-minded people, showing off your bill is the right way, and that's what it's all about.
Every crash leaves behind pain and loss. These aren't just stats, they're real people with families and futures. Shopping street racing isn't just up to the police. It takes awareness, responsibility, and better choices. Street racing isn't just illegal, it's deadly. One wrong move can end a life forever.
Communities, law enforcement, and activists are working together to tackle this growing threat. But stopping illegal street racing takes more than just crackdowns. It requires awareness and responsibility. Street racing might seem like a game. It's a game where no one truly wins. The cost isn't just measured in metal and rubber, it's measured in lives lost and families shattered. The thrill doesn't have to come at the cost of a life. The choice is yours.